there was a devastating terrorist attack involving guns in America. That same day, the gun devil appeared.
The past 3 seasons of 2022 have had banger after banger seasons, but even with all that they had, Fall 2022 might just take the cake with a lineup of some of the hottest and most anticipated anime this year. We have the continuation of Spy Family, Mob Psycho 3, Chainsaw Man, Bleach, and even My Hero Academia Season 6. Okay, maybe one of these don't actually belong here, but you guys get the gist of it. Now, before we hop into anime for the season, Alex and I have an announcement to make.
Why are you?
In our Licorice Recoil video, we mentioned that we set a goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by sometime in March. And if you guys make it happen, we'll do a Q&A with a face reveal while wearing official Licorice Recoil uniforms that Alex randomly found online. So if you guys want to see us in skirts, you know what to do. Anyway, back to the video. Spy Family Part 2. After what seemed like an eternity, Spy Family is finally back. Spy Family had a phenomenal first half last spring, and damn, they were not playing around during their time off. I mean, just look at the opening and ending. How can you look at this and not smile? My happiness is immeasurable and my day is saved. Now, for the most part, I have no qualms with the show. It has great character designs, a really fun, easily digestible storyline, and very lovable characters. The only real criticism that I have is so far that in the first half, it feels like a pure adaptation. Now, what I mean by that is that it just feels like you're reading the manga, only now it's animated and voiced. However, this isn't inherently a bad thing, as a lot of the times, recreating the feel of the source material can be pretty difficult on its own. What I'm hoping for is for the animators to take the Kaguya-sama approach, where they follow the story closely, but look for opportunities to enhance the visual storytelling in ways that the manga couldn't, giving us a faithful adaptation, but also making it almost feel like a whole new experience. All in all, Spy Family is an amazing show for all ages, and a definite must-watch for everyone and their dog.
What the dog doing?
My Hero Academia Season 6. My Hero Academia has been in a bit of a rough spot for their past few seasons, with the pacing slowing down to focus on other aspects of characters and the story. Many people have fallen out of love with My Hero Academia, and it's not really hard to see why. A lot of attention and backstory was built for the side characters, only for most of them to feel completely sidelined, like with Class 1B. You can tell, the author thought long and hard about the intricate details when creating their quirks and character dynamics. The problem is, the times that they do show up are few and far in between, so it gets hard to remember who is who at some points, let alone what their quirks do. But when they do show up, they're there for a good while, taking away focus from the main characters and story. But don't worry, after the dry spell that was the villain arc, we finally begin the arc the story has been building up to this whole time. This is the season for My Hero Academia to make a comeback, as the manga fans swear on both their mom's lives that this arc is good. And for what I can see, I might have to agree. The trailers have everyone show up and participate in the battle, so at least we're finally getting use out of all the side characters this season. My Hero Academia Season 6 is a bit of a hard sell because if you already watched the first 5 seasons, you are probably gonna watch Season 6. But if you haven't caught up or started at all, it's hard to recommend knowing how much of a grind it feels like watching some of the later seasons. But for us personally, since we kept up, we'll be watching. Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. Mob Psycho 3 is another one of this season's big hitters. After the first 2 seasons, I didn't think we'd be getting a Season 3 since it felt like Season 2 wrapped things up pretty nicely. We saw Mob having his morals tested, ideals challenged, and saw him come out on top. Unfortunately, this is going to be the final season of Mob Psycho, and I have conflicting feelings about it. On one hand, I'm glad we get to see Mob's story animated to completion, while at the same time, it's really sad to see the series go. But that being said, I can't wait for what Season 3 has to offer. Studio Bones has done an excellent job adapting the series, using a similar art style to the manga and creating some of the best action scenes this medium has to offer, while also offering us some of the more practical skills. Mob Psycho is a lot of fun all around and tells a great story along the way. A definite must watch. Chainsaw Man. Yo, are you guys as hyped as I am? Chainsaw Man is the most highly anticipated anime of the season, and I mean, why not? Mappa Studios is back at it again doing the animation, and looking at the trailer, oh boy, we're definitely in for a treat. Mappa has definitely proven themselves worthy of sitting at the big boy table, and you can even argue that their animation quality is directly responsible for the rise in popularity for many shows, such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Takt Off Destiny, Kakegurui, and more. We've been holding off from reading the manga so we can experience all the action brought to life in anime form. With all the hype surrounding it, Chainsaw Man has the potential to be a generation-defining anime, and with the way the producers are throwing the wallets at it, even they believe that Chainsaw Man will be the next big thing. It's even been announced that Chainsaw Man will have 12 different ending songs, one for each episode. It's great that so much effort was put into trying to make Chainsaw Man the best experience it can be, but the thing is for me, I like having the same song stick around for a while because I'm the type of guy that needs a few listens to a song to really get hooked onto it. The scenario I'm hoping for is the one where they end up the way Bakemonogatari did. Bakemonogatari's openings are legendary, with 5 completely different openings, one of which is so iconic that even after more than a decade, it's still relevant to this day. And you cannot tell me that you've never heard this song before. But that also begs the question, is it really gonna be one song for every episode? There's a high chance we'll get another core after a season break like we did Spy Family and Attack on Titan and have those songs come back. Chainsaw Man is pretty much guaranteed to be a smash hit, though if I did have to point out one flaw, it does feel like there's not enough guns.
There was a devastating terrorist attack involving guns in America. That same day, the gun devil appeared.
This is the greatest anime of all time, and I don't think I have to tell you that this is a must-watch.
Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War. After over 10 years, Bleach is finally back to finish the job it had started 18 years ago. The 1000-Year Blood War arc has been confirmed to continue from where the anime last left off, and with this adaptation, we'll cover the rest of the remaining story. Now if you watched our Kill la Kill video, you would know that Bleach was actually one of the few anime I watched during my adolescent period, but its fillers were also the reason why I stopped watching anime altogether, so it's a bittersweet memory for me. Fans have not seen any Bleach anime for over a decade now, which is quite a while. In that amount of time, a person could have started a family with 2 kids. But who are we kidding? Bleach fans can't get laid. They can't even talk to women without shaking and having urine drip down their cargo shorts. A lot of people will be happy to know that the original Japanese voice actors will be reprising their roles along with the same studio that animated them over 10 years ago. So it'll be like how you remembered watching Bleach was, but minus the ridiculous amount of filler. And to add to that, this arc will be split into 4 non-consecutive cores. So there's a lot of Bleach coming in the future. A lot of Bleach that Alan and I will unfortunately be passing on.
You what?
Now I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and say it doesn't look good, but personally it's a little too outdated for me, and I haven't even finished the regular Bleach series yet, which I don't even want to get into right now. I'm not even sure Rukia is still alive. She is? Hey, what about my boy Chad though? He's alive but they nerfed him? Damn man, why they gotta nerf the brother like that? Alright, well, just because we're not gonna watch it doesn't mean we're not gonna recommend new fans and OG fans alike to not watch it. So you can delete your shitty comment and wipe the Cheeto dust off your fingers, you fat, ugly, The Eminence In Shadow. The world can be separated into 2 groups. Those that take a step forward to do what they think is right, and those that are behind the camera recording. Sid Kageno is the latter. After getting isekai'd into another world, Sid wants to operate in the shadows to take down the world's evildoers. So in order to do that, he makes some shit up and becomes the unfitting leader of the underground organization known as Shadow Garden. Their mission is to fight against an evil cult, which he made up, to protect the peace. Except, the evil cult that he made up actually exists, and they're not happy about Shadow Garden ruining their plans multiple times. Now, I've never heard of this light novel and manga, so it's fair to say I don't know too much about it. But what I do know is that a lot of fans were surprised this was getting adapted, and there's been a lot of excitement within its small community, saying things like, "Holy shit, this completely caught me off guard, I'm so excited I can sit and squeal!" This anime is getting adapted by Nexus, a relatively small studio with not many projects under their belt. But their most notable work being Chivalry of a Failed Knight gives them some credibility in their animation. Now don't be fooled by the serious tone of the trailer. That's to throw people off from the fact that this anime is an isekai comedy that's been compared to Konosuba. So if you were a fan of Konosuba, you're most likely gonna like this one too. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun, Season 3. I'm gonna be honest guys, I haven't watched the first 2 seasons of Iruma-kun, but I kinda want to. I've heard some pretty good things about the anime, and it seems like a decent show. I mean, there's no such thing as a bad anime with 3+ seasons, right? Just looking at the trailer, it looks like Iruma's class gets thrown in the jungle or some shit, and they gotta survive together like that one arc in Classroom of the Elite. I know you're sick. If you suck the milk out of my pee-pee, you'll feel better. What? You're joking, right? There's gonna be 21 episodes this season, which would make for a total of 65 episodes to watch. Fuck. Anyway, if you're a fan of the show, watch it. If you're not, it's not a bad time to start. To Your Eternity, Season 2. I would be lying if I said I'm super excited to watch the 2nd season of To Your Eternity, and it's not because the 1st season was bad at all. It's actually the opposite. Because the 1st season was so good and impactful, it's hard to watch Fushi go through so much pain again in order to grow as a character and get the development he needs to protect the world from the knockers. No, not those, you nasty. I guess that growing pain is part of the charm of the show, but it still doesn't hurt less knowing that fact. I would be straight up lying if I said I didn't almost cry watching the 1st season. I knew the characters were gonna die right as they were introduced. I knew not to get too attached. But the story was too captivating and I was breathing in that hopium that maybe, just maybe one of them could live. And damn did that shit almost break me. Anyway, Season 2 looks like it'll be a straight continuation of the story with a 40-year time skip into the future where Fushi thinks he can beat the Knockers alone. But somewhere along the way, I'm sure he'll make friends again, only to suffer once more. This is gonna be a must watch.
Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out, Season 2. We haven't watched the first season of Uzaki-Chan because we get the feeling that even though the show is heavy in plot, it didn't offer much else. And from what we heard from those who did watch it, they shared the same sentiment.
Plain and simple, I beat my dick too much.
I don't know if the second season will be any better than that, but from the manga spoilers I have seen, there does seem to be a good amount of progress between the characters, but that's all I can really say. As for watching, if you like the first season, I'd say go for it, but for us, it's gonna be a skip. Reincarnated as a Sword. Listen, I know the name sounds like a meme, but trust me, it's actually kinda good. From the title and description, you'd assume that this would be some trashy isekai we get every year. And you'd be absolutely right. As a reader of the manga, I can tell you that if you can still stomach isekai, this one is definitely worth giving a chance. There's this really charming and wholesome relationship between our two main protagonists where they really want to see the other strive, kinda like in My Dress Up Darling in a way, but with a lot more killing. The best way I can really describe Reincarnated as a Sword is it's a dumpster made out of gold. There may be a lot of trash in it, but it's still gold. I'll be watching this one, but I can't really recommend it to everyone, though I will say again that this is a pretty watchable isekai. Bluelock. Bluelock, from what I've heard, is supposed to be the soccer anime, which is pretty exciting. Now, I'm not that into soccer, but what I'm hoping for is that this can be what Haikyuu was for a lot of people. I'm definitely not alone when I say Haikyuu does a fantastic job teaching you about a sport you had no prior interest in and keeps you invested the whole way through. I personally know a handful of people who weren't interested in volleyball, some who don't even normally watch anime, get inspired by Haikyuu to get into volleyball. That's the type of impact I want to see. From the trailers, you can tell Bluelock isn't going to be your typical sports team anime where you follow the journey of a protagonist's home team. Instead, it looks like we get one main character who has to pretty much 1v300. So, if you're on the fence about watching this, I think Bluelock is definitely worth giving a shot. More than a married couple, but not lovers. The title of this anime was made by a woman sending mixed signals to her guy friend. From what I can see, this anime looks like it has a Toradora-esque story where our two main protagonists have different love interests at first, but after a rough start, they slowly fall in love with each other. They'll try their hardest to deny it until the very end, but as you can all probably guess, they'll most likely get together. Though I'm not expecting too much from this anime, I'm willing to at least give it a chance. I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. It's happening once again. First it was medical isekais, now it's villainous isekais. With so many isekai out there, anime studios are desperate for quote-unquote new ideas, and once they find them, they spam produce them. But in that search for new ideas, they fall into a dangerous rabbit hole, and it kind of feels like the YouTube recommendations. You watch a couple of videos for your chem class with autoplay on, and now you're watching a video on how to extract a local anesthetic from anal lube. You didn't ask for it, but now you have it. From the trailer, it doesn't seem all too different from Hamefura, except I don't see a harem yet. And from the looks of it, it seems like it's tailored more towards shoujo fans, so at least they're getting a bit more attention, which is nice to see. But I will say, I have never seen a guy go from Chad to little baby man so quickly before. The shoujo genre isn't really our cup of tea, but we will give it a few episodes just to give it a chance.
Urusei Yatsura. This is one of the OG rom-com trashy harem anime that you couldn't take your eyes off of back in the 80s. And with the reboot of the series, we get to see if Urusei Yatsura was really ahead of its time with the harem genre, or if it was completely different from what we're used to seeing. Hey, what the f? Lum is the gorgeous daughter of the Oni aliens and is completely head over heels for the playboy Moroboshi Ataru. Wait, so hot girl likes asshole player that never gives her the time of day? Yo, are we sure this isn't based on a true story? David Productions is the animation studio behind this project. You know, the guys that also made Fire Force and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So you know Urusei Yatsura is gonna go hard with the sound effects and animation. There's also gonna be 4 cores of this, which put me on the fence about watching it because it is a lot to watch. But then I saw the lineup of voice actors and holy shit did they get a god tier lineup.
Ooh, I like your cut, G.
Now I know I just hyped it up, but with old reboots like this, you have to be careful because sometimes reboots aren't that great either. I'm personally gonna watch this to see if it's any good, but I would recommend you guys hold off and wait a few episodes first. Golden Kamuy Season 4. I have never watched a single episode of this anime before, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what it's about. It's probably pretty good just based on the fact that this anime is in its 4th season, and I know I should give it a try. but I'll save it for another day. If you're a fan of the series, go ahead and watch it. If you're like us and have no idea what it's about, it's never a bad time to give this anime a shot. Bocchi The Rock. Is this the anime to finally fill the void in our hearts that K-On! Left behind years ago? Probably not. But you know what? We don't need to compare this to K-On!, because just from watching the trailer, the vibes aren't the same, and the story looks like it's headed in a different direction. Wait, I think I just compared it to K-On! Anyway, who doesn't like stories about an introverted middle school girl that's too shy to make friends but makes friends anyway via the power of music? Certainly not me, I'll tell you that much. Cloverworks is the studio behind this anime, so it's gonna be a coin flip on whether or not the story is actually gonna be any good. But I think it will be, since historically, they only write god-awful scripts when they're overloaded with other projects to work on. And it looks like the only other anime that they have on their plate for this season is Spy Family, and that's shared between them and Wit Studio. So it's safe to say that the story is gonna be good, and you already know that they go hard with the artwork and animation. Now, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to dabble into this since music anime isn't really my thing, but I actually might give it a couple episodes to see how it goes, and I recommend you guys do the same. Akiba Maid War. Now, I don't know much about Akiba Maid War, but neither does the rest of the internet, cause this shit is an anime original created by Psy Games and PA Works, the animation studio behind your boy Kongming. Now, I love your boy Kongming, and PA Works did a fantastic job animating it, but believe it or not, there was a source material behind it. So I'm not sure how I feel about this being an anime original, because I think Licorice Recoil might have used up all the good creativity for the rest of the year. What makes matters worse is that I have no idea what this anime is about after watching 2 trailers and reading the synopsis, which almost gave me a damn stroke from its awkward wording. This has red flags planted all over it, but something about it is speaking to my loins to watch this anime. So in a leap of faith, I will do everyone here a solid and watch it. But you owe us a sub though for either discovering a diamond in a gold mine or dog shit in a dog park. And that wraps up just about all the noteworthy anime this season. There's a crazy amount of continuations coming out, so longtime fans of anime are gonna have their hands full. But don't think just cause there's a lot of sequels this season, there's nothing for newer anime fans to watch. You just gotta take the time to find that hidden gem that always comes with every new season. There's always one, trust me. But that's gonna be it from us today. So until next time, peace.